wheel. Cameras rolling, it's all surreal. Who's the guest today? Who's the guest today? Record spinning, always winning. Rykus, Nemo, questions pinning. Andrew called the shot, don't miss the frame. Hobby hooligan, what's your name?
Hey, Hobby Hooligans. Welcome to Ashtabula Hobby Talk. My name is Nemo. I'm president of Amigos Radio Club, Ashtabula, and amateur radio enthusiast. And I'm here with...
Hey, I'm Rykus, owner of Captain's Comics in North Kingsborough, Ohio, and major comic book enthusiast. And as a comic book enthusiast, I'm honored to bring to our show one of our local creators, Daniel Doing.
Daniel, welcome to the show. Great having you with us tonight, man. You're awesome having a guest, and you're a local comic book creator. You do it all, right?
Yes. Sort of a jack of all trades, master of none.
So you created a character named Fringe Knight, and you're up to issue 6 on that. And you can get those comic books at my store if you're interested out there.
Yeah, go up to Captain Comics and buy the comic book. But yeah, tell us about him.
Yeah, tell us a little bit about this Fringe Knight guy.
The Fringe Knight is a series I created about 7 years ago. Good Lord. It's a sort of supernatural mystery noir set in Erie, PA. Follows the adventures of this young man named Anthony who inadvertently finds himself sort of the head and steward of the world's oldest secret society known as the Order of Knowledge. And the only other one that's privy to this knowledge is the zombified butler looking after the headquarters that Anthony inadvertently has stumbled in. And now he has to sort of navigate this world because he discovered that everything that we've ever mythologized turns out to be real. Werewolves, vampires, goblins, dragons, all real, all hidden just underneath the surface. Most of them kind of make a 9 to 5 like the rest of us, but there's always malfeasance, and that's where Anthony has to step in.
That's awesome. And I read the comic book, and I've talked to you several times about the direction you're going with it, and it's really great how you do the storytelling because you already have like several issues in advance already lined up. You already have it all plotted out, and you think very far ahead, and that kind of futuristic storytelling shows up in issue 1. You can already see like ground bricks of a bigger story developing. So how far in advance have you already plotted?
I don't want to spoil too much, but let's say quite a ways. Quite a ways. As long as people keep enjoying the story, I won't shut up about it.
So unfortunately, I'm in a stuck situation here where I didn't get a chance to read the comic book at all, any of them, before we got you on the air. So I'm going to ask you the simple questions of what got you started writing this comic book, man.
Well, this was even longer than 7 years ago. This was like in the before time.
There was some dinosaurs.
It felt like a lot of the comic book industry was sort of in this bit of a slump. A lot of sales on a lot of the books that I read were down because there wasn't really any good writers to them, wasn't any good stories out. And we were starting to sort of feel the beginning effects of what the big buzzword is, superhero fatigue. And I was like, I want to do something original because I tried to look into like reading like more independent books. And if it wasn't something ripping off like Walking Dead, it was something ripping off Invincible or ripping off Batman. Just no originality out there. And I will never forget, I'm sitting there and I'm griping, and suddenly my father just goes, well, why don't you just write something? So you shut up. And being the ornery fella that I am, I just looked and I was like, you know what? I will.
Nice. That's where a lot of inspiration comes from too. someone says I can do something better, and they work at it. That's awesome. So I got one of your very first comic books that you, I think, forgot about. Is one of the first Fringe Knights.
Yeah,
Very low print
one
run.
of our ASCAN issues.
Yeah, yeah. So I picked that up at a con when you first got it, and I didn't even know who you were at the time. And then I opened
Yeah,
up a comic book store, and
uh,
you keep doing their comics, and that was kind of cool.
yeah, tried to step up my game since then.
So tell us a little bit about the main superhero that you got in this comic book. What's he like? Obviously, you're trying to keep him away from the traditional boring stuff that everybody's been used to.
I really want to do a guy who he doesn't have like the tragic backstory. You know, he wasn't bit by a radioactive animal. His parents were murdered in front of him. He wasn't rocketed here from another dimension or another planet or anything like that. Just a regular, simple guy. He's had a few bumps in his life. He's your typical 20-some-year-old, and he works at an antique shop or like a pawn shop, but don't tell the owner that. But just he kind of had this like semi-typical upbringing. You know, he's got his mother and his grandmother and his great aunt, who are twin sisters, been a big influence in his life, and he just sort of like his main superpowers in the first issue. He falls in a hole. That is his only superpower. He falls in a hole and literally falls bass backwards into discovering the oldest and most powerful organization ever conceived of in human history, the Order of Knowledge. And these guys have been behind the scenes. As I like to put it, when man discovered fire, the Order of Knowledge was formed 2 weeks after that.
Nice.
And just, they've always been in the background, always benevolent than malevolent. But about 20 years ago, something happened that the entire organization, like all of its members, vanished without a trace. But they have such an intricate system set up, everything's just running on autopilot. Nobody knows that the order is like defunct. Nobody would dare even think that. So with Anthony, when he starts showing up, because everything that he wears is an artifact or some sort of prototype that he found in the lair of the Order of Knowledge, which is known as the Canum. And it's either mystical in nature or such advanced science, it might as well seem like magic. And all of this stuff he's wearing in some form or another is adorned with the symbol of the Order of Knowledge. So whenever he encounters somebody and they're in the know, they see that symbol. To them, that's like seeing a dude wearing a federal. So he's instantly got this sort of like level of respect and fear, like because if he encounters like vampires, werewolves, goblins, they all see that and they know they're in trouble, their family's in trouble, their friends are in trouble, and if they do not cooperate, they're probably going to get staked with silver.
But little do they know they got a rookie Anthony on the job who's just learning the ropes, right?
Very lucky for him. Because, you know,
So
in our very first issue, again, because it's all about just blind dumb luck with him, he literally has to fight a 12-foot tall prehistoric radioactive werewolf.
radioactive. Our producer knows a little thing about radioactive. He collects radioactive
Cool.
items.
And bees. So yeah, put radioactive bees in there somewhere.
I'll have to look into that.
So
But yep,
you've been collecting comic books now for a long time too. What got you into the comic books?
mostly my mom and my grandma. I was really young, like I was first going into first grade. I had a terrible time reading. And it wasn't like I was dyslexic or anything, just I had no interest in reading. And it was getting to the point towards like the middle of the year, and my teacher was saying to my mother, like, he needs to really start picking this up, otherwise he's probably going to end up in summer school. So my mom was like, nuts to that. He's not going to summer school. Drove me to a local comic shop that was in Chardon. Unfortunately, it's no longer there. And just went in with $5, and we went to the quarter bin back when you still had those, and just pulled out a whole bunch of like random back issues. There's Spider-Man, there's some Batman, there's and then Green Lantern, and then just she was like, okay, there's like $5 worth of comics, which was like that thick. Just had me sit down like, okay, you're gonna read this over break, and I'm like, and just cracked into that first issue, and just that was all she wrote.
Yep.
By the end of Christmas break, I went from reading at like a kindergarten level to like a grade level.
That's awesome.
Just
Comic
about,
books are a great way for kids to learn how to read.
yeah, good inspiration. Get them reading however you can.
That's one of the
Absolutely.
inspirations I had to open up a comic book store. Is I wanted kids to come and get the comic books and learn how to read. And it's only adults coming into my store, and I don't know how to get the comic books in the hands of these kids. If anybody has any ideas, please stop at the comic shop and tell me what am I doing wrong.
Candy.
Well, I mean, you can always have somebody dressed as Pennywise, just like abduct the kids and bring them into the store.
I tried that during Halloween, and he told me not to do that.
Yeah, I don't want any lawsuits or anything.
But see, that's the beauty of it. It's not you. It's just some weird clown is dragging children into your store. You have no control over it.
While you're here, kid, want a comic book? I can charge your parents for
See?
this.
There you go. That's expert marketing right there.
Yeah, I don't think it's gonna get looked on very well. I think there's some kind of law I'll be infringing on.
Maybe we'll get a guy in a trench coat, and he can go out there with the comic book and, hey, kid.
Why does everything lead to something mischievous?
Because it's comic books.
Let's do something more
And
honest.
we're not talking
like,
Donald Duck and Walt Disney here. We're talking.
yeah, but everything that you guys are suggesting is going to lead to something kind of misleading.
How about the parade?
Or
There we go. Parades are good.
Instead, you could have, instead of a t-shirt cannon, you can have a comic book cannon. So as cars are driving by, you just launch comic book cannon.
Ooh, I can see the paper cuts now.
In bundles. Do it in bundles.
Yeah. We'll get a think tank going here. I like the ideas, but let's find them up in something better. We can work on this.
We could drop them from airplanes. I know a couple pilots.
Ooh, if you know a couple of pilots, maybe we can do that episode about the pilots,
I'll see it. We'll do it. We'll talk about that.
and then we'll drop the comics.
Yeah, we'll throw comic books out.
We'll make a whole video.
We'll go over the mall and throw comic books on the ground.
We'll throw Fringe Knight comic books at them. That way,
Yeah.
I win. Daniel
You want to send
wins.
us about 1,000 copies that we can give away?
Yeah, I'll get right on that. Be a nice little tax write-off.
That's another thing you're doing. You're self-publishing, right? In a form
I
of
am.
speaking. And I think you ran through a couple different publishers, I think, if I remember right.
I tried a few different ways. I ended up with this online publisher, which honestly, they've not really let me down. And I'm very glad I was able to find them. It's called Glam, and it's online. It's based out of around Georgia, northern Florida, somewhere around there. But very good turnaround time, very good production quality on the books. I've not really had any books that I've been like, I'm like, oh, this is absolute trash. Never had that moment, so I'm very glad for that.
It's print on demand then too, right?
Oh yeah.
So you're doing it all. You're the writer. You're the storyline writer. Are you doing all the graphics and everything too?
I've had a few different artists do like some like the pencils and inks, and then I'll do some like tweaking and editing, and then my fiance does the coloring, and then I do the lettering and final editing.
So he does almost everything except for the colors and the art.
So
He gets it published. He does everything.
do it all. So what do you think your cost is involved in per episode, per issue? Just in the development.
Depending on the artist, it usually ranges $200 just for the artwork and everything. And then artwork, I get a pretty good rate on the coloring. And then just sending it off to like getting the book produced. Usually getting the issues printed doesn't really cost a whole lot, and the shipping usually is pretty reasonable. So honestly, each issue, I'd say maybe a little over $1,000,
Well,
like per
that's not
issue.
bad. That's not bad. When I was looking at it, I think that was right around. I think 1,300 printed was right around what I was looking at. So just tossing some ideas around on that.
Right. So
And you-
what kind of inspiration could you give someone that's looking into getting their own comic book done?
One thing I will always say: follow your own voice. Don't look to make the next Batman. Don't look to make the next Spider-Man or Captain America. To make the first your character. Find out what resonates with you. Find out what sounds like a good story to you, and then just kind of work from there. Never take the shortcut, because the shortcut doesn't lead anywhere good.
No.
Yeah, kind of do it right when you can. That's for sure.
Shortcuts can leave you getting abducted by Pennywise and dragged into a comic book store. That's what shortcuts do.
See, I told you. I tried to do that. You said no.
There's got to be other ways that's not the shortcut that's better.
I'm starting to like the airplane. Maybe we could drop it from drones one episode at a time. I'm sure we could find some guys with drones to fly around and drop them from drones.
Some guy be driving on his way home from work, and all of a sudden a comic book hits his windshield. He's sitting there trying to read the comic book. We'll try to driving.
His windshield wipers go like that.
Trying to read the small print.
What you guys can't see right now is that Daniel is laughing just as hard as our line producer is right now. He can't push the buttons.
I mean,
Sorry,
hey,
Andrew.
if it gets books out there, you can't argue with results.
Nope. So you actually made a couple appearances at my comic store for signings on one of your release dates, and usually on Free Comic Book Day, which is the first Saturday in May. And
Yes,
the
sir.
first Saturday of May is coming up here pretty soon.
And we already told you got to show up. So
Yeah, apparently I've been informed that I will be there, so I guess I have to. I have
All
no
right.
choice in the matter.
all right, you heard it here first. Daniel's coming out to do comic book signings at Captain's Comics on the first weekend of May.
Free Comic Book Day. So we'll
Free
have
comic
like free
book day.
comic books out for everyone to pick up a couple of them. And I got some other things in the works. Maybe Amigo Radio Club will be there.
I'll talk to the guys tomorrow. Saturday, they're in a meeting Saturday.
And then
And some of them will watch the show tonight. So
I also might have Trail Life come in and do some promotional stuff to promote
it'd be
them.
pretty cool to make a big thing out of it. We get a couple of the local comic book artists up there signing their comic books, and it'll be good to meet you in person, Dan. You could come. I saw you're also into cosplay, so you can come in your Star Wars costume.
Well, maybe I can even see if Fringe Knight himself might make an appearance.
Do you have a Fringe Knight costume?
Oh, yes.
Yep.
I
Oh,
do a
well,
lot of
that would be even better.
I do a lot of 3D printing and prop building.
I think I might have some photos of him at my comic shop with his Fringe Knight outfit. He wasn't wearing it at the time, but he had it all dressed up on.
I mean, you guys are making me want to read the comic book now.
Do it.
I'm going to have to come up and just sit on your counter for a little while and flip through it.
We can talk business while you do that.
Yeah, that wouldn't be a bad idea. I don't know if I could talk business and read at the same time.
I'll try not to distract you.
Okay. I got to sound the words out.
Just look at the pictures.
The pictures are cool.
Yeah. But yeah, so first Saturday in May, I want to clear with my landlord before I invite like a whole entourage of outfits out.
Taking over the parking lot.
Yeah. So right now we'll just settle on, the importance of trying to get the Amigo and Fringe Knight locked in, and probably Dr. Ben Anthony will probably make an appearance at my shop.
That'd be great. You have a bunch of people up there.
I haven't reached out to him, but he usually comes in on set on Free Comic Book Day. And
I don't know if he'll keep me down.
yeah.
Oh yeah, he's usually down for anything.
Yep. You two need to collaborate on something. Yeah, have anything in the works?
Working on it.
All right.
I got a few different ideas. Been working on it's a lot of work scheduling, life scheduling nonsense, trying to do that terrible thing called adulting as much as I don't want to.
It's tough, man. How do you find the time? I mean, I know me, like, by the time I go to work, I come home, I take care of my farm chores, and, maybe I get a few minutes to jump on the radio and cook dinner, start fire. Wintertime's really tough because you got to cook dinner, start fires, all that stuff. But, man, how do you manage the time? Time management's probably a big deal for you, huh?
What is sleep, truly? What is this talk of? Not high. No.
Sleep's that thing you get plenty of when you die.
Right? That's just a perfectly good waste of 8 hours.
Unless you come back as a zombie and be a butler for the rest of your afterlife.
Mr.
There you go.
In Pennington Tower.
What is the butler's name in Fringe Knight?
Francis.
You have zombies in Fringe Knight?
Yeah, you didn't hear him?
Oh yes. The person that Anthony can confide in about the Order of Knowledge is the zombified butler who takes care of the Arcanum. Imagine a zombified Professor Snape burst into the role of Alfred.
Wow, that's got to be depressing.
Yeah, especially when Francis first meets Anthony, he's just like, really? This is what I have to... Oh, God, please let him die quickly.
It kind of is reminiscent of Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy with the android that's chronically depressed because he's got to open elevator doors. Yeah.
Yep.
Good character archetype to be working with as a butler.
Yeah, he's very sarcastic because he's very over this whole being alive thing. Like his rest, but he can't do that because a high up of the Order of Knowledge to be the one to lift the zombie curse from him, and they're gone. So now he has to keep doing this and being a zombie and maintaining himself until this, in his words, shot idiot running around in the blue coat and help him find a way to lift his zombie curse so he can finally get some freaking rest.
Awesome.
A lot of characters in this book. They're all
I'm gonna have to check it out. So I was looking at your social media stuff. You're into a whole bunch of different hobbies. And so you do your cosplay stuff, obviously. So you print all your stuff yourself?
Oh yes. Like a few of the like larger things, if I need to get something and then I'll modify it later on, I will. But for the most part, I do my own sewing, I do my own printing, my own painting, my own shaping, all of that stuff.
and he's got his own Fringe Knight action figure. And if you look close in one of our past episodes, I'm not sure which one it is, but you can see it on the shelf behind me.
Oh, see?
A hidden little Easter egg for anybody that wants to go and find that action figure.
Gotta figure out which episode that was in. We should have had it here tonight.
Yeah, I don't like putting the same action figure up there twice.
Yeah, I understand. So you got the action figure. Are you printing those out yourself and putting them out there?
Oh yes, I do my own 3D printing.
And he's got a heck of a packager
got-
too. Someone that can make a
Yes, I do.
Phrasing.
Yeah, I wish I could remember the guy's name. Just his name was Ricky, Richard, something like that.
Sounds like
It was so
Rykus.
long ago. It's probably not important.
Oh, you're doing this packaging. Okay, gotcha.
I'm a structural designer. I designed his package.
That's true.
It looks exactly like something you would see on the shelf.
Awesome. What are those retailing for?
Indeed.
I think we currently sold out at our shop.
Oh, so you need more.
We could.
I'll have to see about making a few more.
Cool. Definitely have them in time for this Saturday. Or not this Saturday, but Free Comic Book Saturday. First Saturday in May. I keep thinking
Because
it's this
I've
Saturday.
got Fringe Knight, and then I've also got in production the first issue villain, the Wendigo Man.
So you got 2 comic books.
No, figures.
Oh, figures. Okay. Is this guy a regular antagonist in the comic book then?
He's going to be the type that when he shows up, it's rare, but it is something very memorable.
Nice.
It's not like a typical villain of the week thing. This is a villain of the overarching story kind of thing. Because again, Wendigo Man is radioactive prehistoric werewolf. It's a primordial force from a time that has long since been forgotten. Because the one thing I kind of do with my series, I try to put this sort of, I don't want to say logic because that would be ridiculous, but this sort of train of thought to things like vampirism, lycanthropy, where, like, because we don't really know when it all started. And if my thought process is, if you looked at like werewolves from like the Ice Age, they would be these massive beasts that never transform back into a normal person.
Right.
And like the same with vampires, they would have been like very like Nosferatu looking, like real tall, pale, bald, fangs, almost like a saber-toothed tiger. And then like over time, just like dogs and cats are, the evolved forms of like wolves and tigers. That's our modern vampires and werewolves.
So how they exist without people finding out about them?
Well, that's a very good question. You'd have to ask the Order that.
I don't think I want to talk to a zombie anytime soon. Maybe Anthony would be okay.
If
But
he'd even acknowledge.
yeah. You'd be like,
That's even
oh,
if he'd acknowledge you. He'd probably they're like just dusting and try to pretend like you weren't there. That's what he
yeah,
does with Anthony most of the time, but he's kind of forced to talk to him.
yeah. So cool. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to issue 7. What kind of time frame you got on that?
Oh, yeah. Well, I'm hoping either late this summer or middle of fall, I will get issue 7 out. And this one's going to be a big one. It's going to be sort of the start because, like, issues 1 through 6, kind of the beginning of Anthony's trial by fire. Very much, I have no idea what I'm doing, and I've been getting by on dumb luck. This is where the tires hit the roads, so to speak, because now Anthony is going to have to take a more proactive role in the supernatural community, rather than just being reactive. And a lot of that's going to come when he has to intervene between two rival werewolf motorcycle gangs.
Oh man, the werewolf motorcycle gang.
One is well established in Erie. I drew a lot of inspiration from, like, The Wire and you know Sons of Anarchy. With the one group, they're called the Hell Pack. They've sort of marked their territory in Erie for close to 50 years. And despite appearances of being big, scary bikers who turn into werewolves, they're very community based. It's a lot of, like, you don't do any of, like, super bad stuff. Like, yeah, we'll run the occasional drugs and sell a little bit of the old wacky tobacco here and there, but we don't tolerate any unsanctioned murder. We don't tolerate people trafficking people, like none of that stuff. And then you've got a new werewolf gang who are riding crotch rockets because they're like the hip new cool biker gang that come rolling into town and thinking like they're just going to set up shop. And needless to say, it does not go well. And the Fringe Knight is definitely going to have to find a way to intervene and literally put himself between two snarling packs of werewolves that are ready to tear each other and himself ribbon.
Man, I don't think he's got a chance, does he?
What? It's going to be interesting. Because also on that front, he also has these two detectives who are looking into him. And it's again, it's real funny because I wanted to do like the sort of buddy cop, kind of like Riggs and Murtaugh or Sam and Twitch, but I wanted to do something interesting with it. So there's detectives and Ramirez. Ramirez is an African American vampire, the Civil War. And then his partner Warts is actually a goblin from a high-ranking financial family. Because one thing I always try to do with like the different supernatural creatures is there's stereotypes for a reason. So your goblins, like a lot of like white collar stuff, financial institutions like that. Decided he was going to rebel from his family by becoming a cop,
It's just,
which they considered like beneath them. "Oh, we don't become cops, we pay them off. What are you doing?" And he's just like, "Whatever, mom and dad, I'm gonna go solve crimes."
this is interesting.
So you've got these two cops who have been ordered by what is known as the Undercouncil. And the Undercouncil is an establishment in Erie that is made up of several different supernatural creatures that protect the interests of the community itself. So, like, if a vampire comes into the area, they reach out and like, "Hey, there's an opening for a janitor at the blood bank. We can get you in there, so that way nobody's the wiser. And the Under Council is sort of like the city council, but much more secretive. And needless to say, when the Under Council finds out that a supposed agent of the Order of Knowledge is operating in the city on a frequent basis, not just like a one-off thing, understandably nervous about what that means for them and their families and their community. So now Warts and Ramirez have been tasked with, at all cost, tracking down the Fringe Knight and to ascertain what exactly his role with the Order is and what the Order has planned for Erie itself.
Interesting. So is you gonna create other heroes in your universe to have like team ups with Anthony, because he seems to be a little over his head right now, or you just don't want to
Well,
talk about that
it's
yet?
definitely an experiment. I've got a few things in the works. I think everybody's going to be pleasantly surprised by what I have in store for the world of the Fringe Knight.
All right, I can't wait.
Yeah, you mentioned werewolf biker gangs. That's kind of classic to me, archetype to throw in there, and I appreciate that. And I've actually been watching the Sons of Anarchy series this last month or so, and I saw it when it first came out, but didn't see all of them. So it's what Peg Bundy would have done if Al and Peg had gotten divorced. That was my and then Modern Family is the other side of that. So that's my opinion on those two shows.
I haven't watched any of the Anarchy, but I did watch Modern Life.
Okay. Yeah, yeah.
It's
But
scary
hey,
how much sense that makes.
isn't
Because
it?
because Ted would definitely just go off and find the hot Latina new wife, while Peggy just falls back on like running a biker gang.
Maybe you could
I can
use that in
totally
there somewhere.
see that.
Yeah, that's the way I thought of it. But because they all came out right at the same time, and or were right around each other. But
Oh, now you got to throw Cheers in there too.
yeah, yeah.
Have a bar where everyone knows your name.
Well, it's funny you mention that, because that's sort of the premise of where the Under Council meets.
There's
It's a bartender named
In,
Sam.
in actually a bar that no one can ever find if they're looking for it.
that makes it hard to get there.
Well, if you know, you know, as they would say.
Oh, this is
Yeah, I've
pretty
got a
cool.
lot of interesting locations, all sort of like sprinkled throughout the this fictionalized version of Erie. Matter of fact, in the Erie Zoo, there's what's known as sanctuary, because a lot of your modern day creatures, goblins, trolls, and stuff, can have the ability to mimic humans. Not very well. Like if you see a dude walking down the street, you'd be like, "Ugh," but you wouldn't suspect he's actually a troll. You just think he was really ugly. And a lot of the cases. But there are some creatures, no matter what, they can't disguise what they are. So they go to the sanctuary, which is underneath the Erie Zoo, which is run by a very dapperly dressed minotaur, who is a born again Christian named Manny. So you
Okay.
have this very loud and boisterous Greek fella is always happy to serve you tea and let you know what the good word is.
That's hilarious. And he's got 4 legs.
Is his name Sam?
No, his name is Manny.
Manny. Oh,
Man.
he says Manny. Yeah.
That's hilarious.
Good
Yeah.
for Manfred, my friend.
Yeah, definitely some characters in your book. And like I said, if you guys want to check out this comic book, it's at North Kingsville, Ohio, in my comic book shop, Captain's Comics.
Speaking of that, how hard's it been to get your book into other comic book shops?
I wouldn't say it's tough. Just I think a lot of shops are hesitant because, like in the area, it hasn't been too difficult. You know, with Rykus and like the two shops in Erie, it hasn't been really hard. But the further out you go, the more they're like, a book based in where? Erie, PA? I mean, I guess I'll take a couple issues, you know. It's all about like how much people know about the area. You know, as
It's
opposed to an independent book like Apama, you know, everybody's heard of Cleveland. So that one can do pretty good. Not a lot of people have heard of Erie, PA.
I think there's a lot of people that heard of Erie. It's just I don't know. I think marketing it toward like, oh, this is only for Erie people. I mean, you take the Erie about out of it, it's still a great comic book. Anybody from like, Kentucky can read the comic book, and it still has value.
Yeah, I grew up in Cleveland and area, and I've known about Erie for a long time. And even when I was like 16-ish, 17-ish, I used to drive out there on the weekends and visit friends in Edinburgh and Erie, and that's where I'd go party because I didn't want to get in trouble at home.
Yeah, I think you're thinking too much of you being local to Erie. I think if you get this out there, if you get past that border, this comic book is going to take off, and it just takes a lot of marketing outside of Erie, I think, and that's just hard to do if you're sitting there trying to promote your book. You got a lot of
Yeah, so if anybody who owns a comic book shop is out there, wants some copies of this book, get in touch with you, right?
exactly.
Absolutely.
How do they do that?
Oh, they can get a hold of me either through our Facebook. I'm on all the big social on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Just look for the Fringe Knight official.
Fringe Knight official. All right.
All right. Sounds like a plan. That's what they got to do. And I got to start flipping through some pages.
Sure.
There you go. Make sure you buy the whole set.
I need to replenish my stock as well. So if you can bring a stack of comic books for me to restock the shelves with, that'd be great.
Absolutely.
I'll talk to you
Get a
later
few more
about how
figures
many.
done.
Sure.
Yeah, I can't read them if they're not up here. All right. So I guess we can, well, Dan, thanks, man. Daniel, thank you. I
You
appreciate
have any
being on
last
the show.
words before we take off?
Yeah. Hey kids, buy Fringe Knight.
Especially if they drop out of the sky from a drone.
Yeah, maybe we'll throw them from the drone out of the sky, right?
Or you
The
should just do
heavens.
like the whole MASH thing. Just get a helicopter and just throw issues out that way.
Ooh, a helicopter would be good too.
Wouldn't you be worried about them getting sucked up in the blaze and being
No,
shredded?
that's downforce.
So
And that's why you
okay.
throw them down. You don't throw them up. You throw them down.
Even if you throw them up, the blades, that's downforce. That's not going to matter. As long as you don't have a prop, like a prop motor in there, like to suck it in with into the jet turbine, you'll be fine. If you're just using a normal helicopter, it'll be okay.
All right. Well, hopefully they'll be in good condition when they hit the ground.
I learned that from shooting paintballs at helicopters. You're not allowed to do that.
Oh yeah, you didn't know you're not allowed doing that?
Don't ask me how I know that and where that happened at.
Oh, is there a warrant out for you or something?
No,
For all of you at home, I
It
have
was
no-
actually
no
completely
association
legit.
with this man.
It was actually
I have
completely
never met this
legit.
man before in my life. I have no idea what he's talking about.
For the record,
I
it
am
was
innocent.
legit. I used to do some stuff that involved helping train military personnel, and a lot of times they were They were dropped in via helicopters, and we were not allowed to shoot at the helicopters with the paintball guns.
Okay, lesson learned.
Yeah.
Good to know.
You got a shirt behind you want to talk about? I'm not changing the subject. I don't know what you're talking about.
All right. So yeah, we do. We got hey, speaking of cool stuff to give away, we're not gonna throw it at you. We're dropping from a drone or a helicopter. We got this beautiful coffee mug. Somebody's gonna win that. We are creeping closer to 100 members, and we appreciate everybody being here
Yep.
with us tonight.
Our 100 subscribers going to win these
Yeah,
two
100
items.
subscribers. Yeah, not members yet. If you want to be a member, we'll get to that in a minute. That would be cool too, even better. Oh, look, I just dropped it and it's still good. Landed on the floor. You're also going to get the 100 subscriber is going to get this t-shirt, Captain's Comic t-shirt. You're going to get that any size, any color printing, from size 0 to 444, 5, 6X, whatever it is we can figure out to stuff you into. And then
Like and subscribe, please.
like and subscribe to the channel here. Absolutely help us out. We've got a Ko-fi account. So please go to our website, ashtabulahobbytalk.com. Sign up, become a member. There's a member sign up there. There's also a, if you want to be on the show page there, so you could sign up for that too. And maybe send us a cup of coffee, because we could use all the coffee we can get, obviously, because obviously I'm dropping stuff and it's been a long day and we work hard. So
and we can build on our set.
yeah. Well, we add to the set a little bit, and we do a little bit every time we come in. So
Yep.
that's good.
And help fund the tapes that we use at our Go missions.
Yeah, and
That's not
all
cheap.
that stuff. Yeah. All right. Well, again, Dan, thank you for being here with us tonight, man. Appreciate you checking in.
And I'll
My
see you
pleasure.
at Free Comic Book Day in Saturday in May.
Yeah, we'll start promoting that and putting
Indeed,
your
I'll
face all
see
over it.
everybody there.
All right.
All right.
Thank everybody for watching us. Hobby on.
Hobby on.